Today, we're heading to a really beloved spot on Florida's Gulf Coast. You know it, that charming town and beach founded way back in the 1890s, Pass-a-Grille.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever heard the name, you've probably thought, Pass-a-Grille, where on earth did that come from?
Right. It sounds so unique, kind of intriguing.
Exactly.
Our goal is to uncover a very plausible and honestly a pretty compelling theory for how Pass-a-Grille actually got its name. Okay.
All right, so let's unpack this. The first kind of aha moment, the first really big insight about Pass-a-Grille is that it wasn't originally the name of the town or even the beach.
Exactly. That's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pass-a-Grille almost certainly comes from French, either Pass-a-Grille or maybe Pass-a-Grillard.
Okay.
Both basically mean pass to the grills or maybe go to the grill. But here's the key thing. It wasn't talking about land.
Not the town?
No, it was the name for a channel, a waterway. It flows between the south end of Long Key and kind of up around Pine Key, which, today's part of Tierra Verde.
Oh.
And you can see this really clearly on old nautical charts. There's one from 1873, another clearer one from 1881. They explicitly label Pass-a-Grille right on that water feature.
Distinct from the land.
Completely distinct from Pine Key or anything else. So the town of Pass-a-Grille, it was named after this pass. Much later.
That's a huge distinction right there. So, okay, if the pass was named first, what about Zephaniah Phillips? He's the guy everyone credits with founding the town, right?
Okay.
He homesteaded the land.
Yes, Phillips. He's the one who officially got the first land grant there. That was in 1890. Though, interestingly, he'd actually built his little home there 4 years earlier, 1886.
Okay.
And he was quite a character. Phillips was a successful businessman, an inventor even. He held the patent for the first time lock safe.
No kidding. Those complex ones.
Yeah, exactly. The ones that prevent opening until a set time. Extra security. Plus, he was skilled wagon maker, carriage maker, cabinet maker, even a real estate agent.
Wow. Renaissance man.
Pretty much. He actually moved down to Florida because he had chronic illnesses, and Point Pinellas, that area, was being advertised as this, like restorative land, good for your health.
The old Florida cure.
Right. Sadly, he passed away in 1903.
Okay, so Phillips founded the town after the pass was named. Now let's tackle one of the biggest theories about that name, the one you hear all the time. Fishermen just pulling over in the pass to smoke their catch.
The campfire on the beach image.
Yeah, it's vivid, but does it really hold up when you start digging into the logistics?
Well, that's where it gets shaky. When you really think about it, the idea of individual fishermen stopping to smoke their own catch just doesn't seem practical.
How so?
Well, think about it from a business perspective. It's really inefficient.
Yeah.
Why would they waste valuable fishing time, plus resources ashore? Smoking fish properly takes time, a good amount of wood, salt.
Right, supplies.
Yeah, it's not something you just, pop up in an hour or two on the beach.
Sure.
And why there? At the mouth of Tampa Bay, when you had established fishing ports like St. Pete or Big Bayou, just a couple of hours sail away.
Where they could sell the fish fresh.
Exactly, or have it processed properly.
Yeah.
The idea they'd stop and spend maybe a whole day smoking a single catch themselves, it just doesn't make much sense economically. That theory, while nice, it feels, impractical.
Okay, so if the casual fisherman theory is weak,
Yeah.
what was the big breakthrough? What pointed towards a better explanation?
This is where it gets really exciting.
Yeah.
A researcher actually found something amazing, an old map from 1879.
Okay.
And this map, it's like the key, the pivotal piece of evidence, because it has this very unusual handwritten note on it. There's a line drawn and an X marking a specific spot.
And where was the spot?
Right at the top edge of Pine Key.
Yeah.
And the label next to the X, it clearly reads Pass-a-Grille Fishery.
Fishery, not just fishermen grilling.
Exactly, a fishery, which is, a commercial operation for harvesting fish, yes, but crucially for preserving them, often by smoking.
Wow.
So this map, it's basically irrefutable proof. There was a commercial fish processing place right there, which makes way more sense as a spot for fishing boats to drop off their catch, right?
Absolutely. Someone else does the smoking, the fishermen get back to fishing.
Precisely.
Okay, that's huge, a fishery. But who owned it? And how does that connect back to the French name, Pass to the Grilles? That's the missing piece.
Right. And this is where we bring back John Levique, remember? Pronounced Levique.
Levique, got it. John's Pass guy.
The very same. But we need to think beyond just John's Pass. Levique was a known turtle farmer and also a fishery operator. He had his turtle crawl place up north a bit, and they definitely smoked turtles there for preservation and sale.
Okay, so he was in the smoking business already.
He was. And critically, Levique was French, or at least of French descent. It's very likely he spoke fluent French, especially since he traded a lot in New Orleans, which was still very much a French-speaking city back then.
Makes sense.
Now, here's the kicker. The same 1879 map, the one with the Pass-a-Grille fishery annotations,
Yeah.
it also points to John Levique's turtle farm. And guess what? That's the only other annotated spot on that entire map section.
Whoa. So Levique's place and the Pass-a-Grille fishery are the only two things someone hand-marked on this map.
Exactly. And they're not far apart, maybe 3 miles by water. Plus, it's the same kind of business and commercial fishery, involved in processing, probably smoking. That connection is incredibly significant.
Wow, okay. So connecting all these dots, what's the theory then? How does this all fit together?
Well, the theory that emerges feels pretty strong. You have John Levique, a French speaker, already running a fishery nearby. It seems very likely he expanded his operation, setting up another fishery, the Pass-a-Grille fishery maybe, to catch boats coming in and out of the Gulf there.
Makes business sense.
Right. And this fishery was processing fish almost certainly by smoking them, using grills. So for Levique, a Frenchman, the name Pass to the Grilles, Pass-a-Grille, would have seemed, well, obvious, natural.
Great directions.
Exactly. It's a straightforward way to tell fishermen, hey, this channel, this pass, leads you right to the spot, the grills, where you can sell your catch.
So Levique, effectively, maybe accidentally, named the pass through his business.
That's the theory. And it's based on solid evidence. You know, the maps, the annotations, Levique's known business and background. It feels, well, close to ironclad as an explanation for how the pass got its name.
And then the village just borrowed the name later on.
That seems the most likely path, yeah.
Okay, but we do hear other stories still. How do those hold up now against this evidence?
Yeah, they don't really hold up as well under scrutiny, like the Spanish fisherman theory. You know, the idea that Spanish fleets were grilling fish there centuries ago, maybe 17th century.
It is romantic.
It does, but the timeline is just way off. And the language, the name Pass-a-Grille, doesn't show up on any maps until the 1870s.
So hundreds of years later.
Right. A 17th century Spanish origin seems highly unlikely. Plus, why would they stop there regularly? There wasn't a big market nearby then, not even necessarily easy access to firewood for large-scale grilling. It seems much more probable the pass got its name specifically because it led to Levique's operation, which did exist in the 1870s.
Okay, that one seems debunked. What about the other one, the old French guide theory?
Yeah, the idea that some French guide with a British survey crew in the, say, 1840s or 50s called it that.
Sounds plausible on the surface, French name.
It does, but again, the map evidence contradicts it. If a guide officially named a charted spot back then, why does the name not appear on any maps until the 1870s? We have detailed charts from the 1850s, 1860s. They clearly show John's Pass, they show Blind Pass, but nothing for Pass-a-Grille.
Map makers wouldn't just add a name decades later based on hearsay.
Not typically, no. Especially not when other, presumably less significant passes nearby were being named and mapped. There's just no concrete evidence, no paper trail, nothing to support that French guide theory.
So it really does circle back to the fishery. It seems like the core idea of people grilling Fafnir the Pass wasn't totally wrong.
Kind of.
But the context was different, and the who. It wasn't just random sailors or Spanish explorers.
No, the evidence, that 1879 map, points squarely at a commercial fishery operation being the reason for the grills in Pass-a-Grille.
Wow. And finding that map, the one actually labeling the Pass-a-Grille fishery, that really feels like the watershed moment, the key that unlocked this whole mystery.
It absolutely was, because when you put all those pieces together, you've got documented proof of a commercial smokehouse, a fishery, right there at the pass. And the same map from 1879 connects it directly, as the only other marked spot, to another fishery run by a known French-speaking operator, John Levique.
Right when the name starts appearing.
Exactly. At the very time the name Pass-a-Grille first shows up on official charts. It all lines up. It really feels like we've found the answer to a, 150-year-old local puzzle?
That's incredible. And, you know, it really makes you think, doesn't it? How many other local legends or those place names we take for granted might have similar stories? Practical, verifiable origins hidden just underneath the more romantic tales we all like to tell.
Absolutely.
What historical clues might be waiting right there, maybe in your own backyard, just waiting for someone to connect the dots?